Being able to build iOS and Android applications unlocks a whole new set of opportunities. Most of my professional software development career has centered around building mobile applications with Ionic and Angular. And if you already know how to build with Angular, you're already most of the way to building apps with Ionic and Capacitor. So it continually surprises me how many Angular devs don't even know about Ionic or Capacitor. I think this is at least partly due to the what I would call misconception that you can't build native applications with Angular. I've touched on this a bit briefly in other videos, so I figured why not just dedicate a video to offering my point of view on this topic. Which is basically, yes, you can build native apps with Angular unless we define native in a way that is, in my opinion, confusing and inaccurate. My position isn't that there aren't important differences between approaches. Whether that's Capacitor, a standard native application, React Native, Flutter, NativeScript, or anything else. There are important differences among all these options, but the differences are generally smaller and more nuanced than the perception created by a blanket term like native or not native. And for anyone who hasn't seen an Ionic application before, but perhaps has the impression that an Ionic or Capacitor application is just a janky web app wrapped in a native shell, what I have on screen now is a stock standard Ionic application running on iOS. The user experience is far from janky, and while sometimes the differences in the WebView approach to the UI might actually matter, often they don't. Part of the reason I've been thinking about this a lot lately is that over the past few months I've been working on a massive update to my Ionic Start course, which is basically the Ionic and Capacitor flavored version of my Angular Start course, and is geared toward the development of iOS and Android apps. If you're interested, it will be on sale for the next 48 hours. If you are already a member of Angular Start, make sure to check your emails first, as a further discount is available to account for the fact that there is content overlap between the two courses. Now, naturally, this does introduce some guy who sells course about thing thinks it's good bias to this video. We're all biased in some way by the tools we use, but this video isn't really about why I think Ionic is good, it's more about just painting a factual picture of what it is. And you can decide whether you agree with me on the terminology we use or not. So let's get into the key subject of this video, which is to show specifically what an application built with Capacitor is and how it differs from a standard native application. We're focusing on Ionic and Capacitor here mostly, but all the options I mentioned before all create standard native projects. When we're building a Capacitor application, we can access and modify whatever we want in the underlying native project. We can open the native iOS project in Xcode, we can open the native Android project in Android Studio, we can utilize native APIs, and we can submit the apps as normal native apps to the app stores. So to call this approach not native is confusing. And to help highlight this, I'm going to give a kind of obtuse but entirely realistic example, focusing specifically on the issue of WebView usage. I have a new native iOS project here, not one created with Capacitor or anything like that, just a stock standard open Xcode and create a new app native project. So by perhaps the most common usage of native, we could say at this point I have a native iOS application. Let's throw in a native control for the header too. Now we've got something that is surely undisputedly a native app that uses a native UI control. But say we're going to need a little live feed display of our latest company announcements or something like that. And we decide to display this in a little embedded web view in the footer. Now, did I just break some web view taboo? And is this application now no longer native since some of the UI uses a web view instead of native controls? Personally, I would say this is still a native app, and where relevant, I would say that it mostly uses native UI controls for the UI. And I think most people wouldn't have a problem with me calling this application native. So now I need to add in the main content section here, which might be, say, an Instagram style feed of photos. And what if we do that as a web view as well? So now we would have a native UI control for the header section. Maybe we will use this to swap between areas in the app. But the main content section is actually a web view. This is not an uncommon pattern and is not just a silly contrived example. So do we say that this is now no longer a native app? Again, personally, I wouldn't. I would say that it's a native application that uses web views for a significant portion of the UI. But I think this is probably the point where for a lot of people, and perhaps even in the most common usage of the native labeling, it wouldn't be considered native anymore. So we take this idea of having a web view for parts of the UI and instead basically make it the entirety or at least most of the UI, and then we're in the realm of Ionic and Capacitor applications. Do we say now that most of the UI is in a web view that it's not a native application? Again, I wouldn't. I would say that it's a native application that uses a web view based approach for the UI. And although we now have this web view focused approach to the UI, it doesn't mean that we can't use native UI controls or other native features as well. In the last video, we not only integrated native APIs by writing our own native code to display native data within the web view, but we also looked at how to launch a standard native UI control from within the web view as well. What we are looking at here, for example, is an Angular application running inside of a web view embedded in a native iOS application. But we are launching a native UI control on top of that web view. And whilst it is generally going to be more common to keep most of the UI within the web view, mixing in native controls like this can still make sense, and it doesn't necessarily create a janky or disjointed experience. In my view, the easiest and most logical definition of a native app is that it's simply a native project that can be built and submitted to app stores like any other native project. If we want to talk about the specific implications of different approaches, and there are important implications to consider, then we should talk about those specifics more specifically, and I think it will lead to less confusion for everyone. If you'd like to learn more about the specifics of building iOS and Android applications with Ionic, Angular, and Capacitor, feel free to check out my Ionic Start course in the description. I've just launched a massive update to utilize the latest Angular and Ionic features, and it will be on sale for the first 48 hours after this video is published. As I mentioned, if you are already a member of Angular Start, make sure to check your emails for a further discount. Anyway, I doubt this video is going to do anything in terms of moving the needle around this particular debate, but whether you agree with me on this or not, hopefully this at least helps paint a picture of some of the key differences in the approach for people who might not be familiar. And if you found this video worthwhile at all, it helps a lot if you leave a like or subscribe before you go, and I hope to see you back here again for the next video.